Hello everyone, today I'm going to be talking about 7 underused themes in board games that I think just deserve a little more love. Now let's kick it off with Underwater. Underwater, I can think of a few different games: underwater cities, oceans, and then the list sort of starts to run out. Maybe Hold Your Breath or something like that, like one of those quick sort of games. But I feel like there's so many different things, like we have a lot of space. Don't get me wrong, I love space themed games, but well, Underwater is also a pretty cool potential environment. You've got stuff like you could do with Atlantis, you've got plenty of different things like submarines and boats going over the top and different things there that the ocean, or specifically underwater, could be a theme that should be used more. The second on the list is football, and I don't mean American football, I mean kicking a ball with your foot. I'm going to say the horrible word soccer. Football. There's not many football games past like Subbuteo that really get the feeling of football being fast-paced, kind of luck, anything that could happen. I love a good game of FIFA. There are some games coming out like Race for the Title, or there's an 11 or something like that coming from Portal Games. So some more games are on the way. But I still feel like a lot of them do miss that real feeling of fast-paced games, like a dexterity football. There's something in there that's not like a Subbuteo that could happen, I think, and should happen at some point. Next up is another sporting event that happens every 4 years that doesn't seem to have that much love in terms of board games, and that's the Olympics. Now, there's often lots of like video games for it. There's even like a Mario and Sonic Olympics and stuff. So it just kind of baffles me that there's not some kind of sporting game in some way, even if it's just a roll and write where you've got to maybe choose between doing quick sprints, or maybe in the individual like track events or field events, you know, how many times are you going to try the pole vaulting, how many hurdles can you get over. I'm surprised that the Olympics hasn't been capitalised on as much as it could. I'm struggling to think of any Olympics themed game. Dialing in specifically from the Olympics, there's one section of it, we've had bike riding with like Flamme Rouge and stuff like that, but I'm yet to really see a game about swimming. And I used to swim quite a lot, I still really do enjoy swimming. Obviously I'm nowhere near as fast as I used to be, but swimming is a sort of a race that you could have. You can have it where you have different team members. You can have maybe different races, different, you know, your different swimming strokes. There's all that sort of choice in there, with cycling getting the love of certain games and different races. I'm surprised none of these race games have had swimming as that theme. Maybe there's not enough there, you know, you can't necessarily spin off a swimming racetrack and the tracks of a swimming pool are back and forward, but I feel like there's something that could be done there. Number 3 is sort of, why not have a mundane thing as a sort of board game theme? It works for games like Container, so what about The Office? Not the amazing TV show, whether it's the UK or the US, I like them both, you know, but why not have a board game themed around jobs in the office? You could feel like that's a worker placement game, getting your bits and pieces done. You know, we've had worker placement games where you're creatures in a forest. We've had worker placement games where you're making wine. Why not something that a lot more people are used to? Working in an office. It could happen, and I feel like with the right game, the right designer, I feel like a worker placement design works for that, but someone else might come with something much better. I've not seen ever really an office based sort of board game. It seems to be a theme that's crying out to be at least attempted. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe there's something already, maybe it would be awful. Let me know what you think. Number 2 is a very meta idea, and there are a few games out there that tick the box, but board gaming, or board games. There's like a new one coming out soon called Shelfie Stacker. That's very Calyx feeling. There are games about libraries, but that's not quite the same. And you know, in some games there's little Easter eggs of other games and stuff. I think in you can sort of see, like on the Scythe board, you can see little like one of them, the modular board, you can see little Easter eggs, and I think at least one of them is another board game related one. It's just, it feels like there's something about the hobby, be it, you know, buying, selling, trading, maths trades, going to conventions, shelving, stacking, all that sort of stuff. It feels like there is a game crying out to be made about board games, the board game, or something like that. I feel like there's been enough badly named and badly themed games that this could be a thing. It's so meta, it could be good. It could also be awful. And my final theme, because it's one of my favourite animals, where are all the hippos? Hungry Hungry Hippo is not a game for most people anymore. Apart from kids. I want not an adult game, that sounds wrong, a hobby game about hippos. In some way. Yes, you can get them in Ark Nova. Yes, I'm sure they are appearing in other games and stuff as well. But I feel like, you know, you get cool, ice cool penguins and stuff. Why not have a fun game about hippos? But what theme, or maybe even what animal, do you feel is underrated or underused in board game themes? Let me know, and until next time, have a great day gaming.